August 5th, 2026. The boys, the alpaca boys, were all the way over at Shed 1. Tavis went over there. The gate is open into our training area here by the big pasture. And when the alpaca boys saw Tavis coming, they started following him. So here they are. I told them this morning there's going to be school. It's not boiling hot yet. And our intention is to take them out on the rancho's trails from the far corner of my pasture down the trail that goes between other properties. And we have been preparing for that because it was hard to get there. You see where that roof is over there? That's where the direction of my gate out to the rancho's trails. We're going to get there by walking around my perimeter fence here so I can hold on, as I also have Thor here. And I need a way to not fall down. Okay, so this is Alpha, right? Yeah. Okay, so you're going to put the blue one on Alpha, the blue bareback pad. Beta's over there. When they saw you, they just started following you, right? They know that's the right answer. Yeah. So good. He put his nose in the halter for you. Did you notice that? If they know what the right answer is, they prefer to give the right answer. Did you close that back gate on purpose so that Beta can't come in yet?
No, just to keep him in, but he'll...
Okay. Let me back away carefully. I don't want to confuse him by being here with the camera. He's a little bit hesitant. If we successfully go left to at least where you got to that day that Beta got away from you, just go that far. Hopefully there's no equipment mowing the grasses or whatever.
One thing I want to be extra careful about is you. If you feel, any kind of way, just stop.
I know. I don't intend to go out on the trails. I intend to, my hope is I'll be there at the gate to video you as you're going down the trail.
Yeah, it's going to be hard having the camera and Thor at the same time.
Yeah, I know, but I don't have the heart to leave him behind. He loves to go out with me with the leash on.
Well, you got to take care, Terry. Your safety.
Well, let's see what happens today, because that's what we're trying to do today. Now, Alpha just pulled back a little bit, but he didn't pull back a lot. He immediately stopped pulling back, and there's Beta. He sees Tavis coming. The gate is open, so he knows to come in. This gate is closed. Now, Beta used to be hard to halter, but not lately, and I hope you'll see that I'm right. Is he going to put his nose in the halter for you like Alpha did? Hold on to his neck. Yeah, he's being compliant. They know they're in school. Routine. They know they're being haltered, tied to the portable panel. Next will be his bareback pad. His bareback pad is black, just to help you recognize who's who. Okay. All right, now they're going to go together with Tavis. We're going to hopefully follow this fence line because we have weed whacked it. It took many, many hours in the last few days to get it ready for me and Thor to follow with the camera in our hand and have some place to hold on to in case I trip. So even though the route and a diagonal would be shorter, you're going to follow the long route, please. And I've got Thor on leash, and he tends to pull. And I'm working on training him not to do that. Heel. Heel. But his desire to investigate is stronger than my control over his behavior at this moment. And look who's here. Now they're going to follow us, the goats. They're going to follow us. They love to. And I'm not going out on the trails because I don't want them to follow me out on the ranchos trails. I don't want them to think that that is their property. Because they do, knock on wood, stay here. They don't want to go anywhere else so far because they can get through any fence I have. Thor is doing what min pins do on leash. He wrapped around my legs. I'm going to turn around. These are a problem, these holes that other critters make. I've asked Dylan, who now works with me, because he can do it with the heel of his shoe. Anytime he sees a hole, close it up. And if he can't close it up, get some sticks and put it in there so it's obvious that there's a hole. Okay, Thor is doing what min pins do. Heel, heel. Now I'm out in the sun. It is getting warm in the sun. I'm hoping this is going to be a short lesson and a successful lesson. And it's going to be a repeat of what happened months ago. Can Tavis take them out, go left on the ranchos trails no matter what they see or hear in the neighboring properties? Will they allow him to lead them where he chooses and come back home when he allows them to come back home on halter lead? They're at the water tub right now. That's our white water tub in the big pasture. I'm holding on to the finish line fence cable. And you see I have no weeds to walk through here. It's not flat, but it's at least something that I can negotiate with the help of eyesight. And here are some weed whacker cables that fell down while he was weed whacking. I don't like to leave them here in the pastures because the animals might accidentally eat them. I don't want that. Okay, we're walking. Heel, heel. It's wet here because it irrigated this morning, but it's not muddy. Okay. You're just on purpose letting them hang out here at the water tub?
I'm just waiting for you to see how you're...
Oh, I see. Thank you. Oh, it might be hard right here at the corner.
I'm thinking maybe if you could just get to that gate and stay there.
I don't know. I can probably safely cross the pasture to that far gate, that middle gate,
Okay.
with you. Heel, heel. Now, let's see. And then if I do fall, you'll be here to help me come up.
Yeah. I'll go out the gate. I'll go as far as I can that way.
Yeah,
I'll come back to the gate.
yeah, right. And I'll stand there. We won't close it with a chain, but we'll close it. We'll keep it closed so that the goats don't go out, I hope, even though they can get out anywhere they want. All right, now let me get Thor's attention. Heel, heel. I'll have to tell Dylan that he's got a weed whack right here. He's never been on one of our camera shoots of our lessons, so he doesn't realize. Okay, so we're going to go that way. I'll be as close to you as I can. Don't walk fast.
I'll go along the fence and I'll meet you there.
Oh, really? Why don't you want to go across?
I'll be faster.
Okay, all right. Decisions that have to be made during the lesson for the safety of all involved. Heel, 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 heel. There are holes here. I'm going to tell Dylan when he comes tomorrow to come looking for them. It's not boiling hot yet, but I definitely can feel the sun on the back of my shoulders. Heel, bad dog, bad dog. He knows that word. No. No. Even if he somehow gets off the leash control, I'm pretty confident this dog, Thor, will stay here. While we're walking, and see Tavis is going along the fence, I'm going straight towards that gate, which is a gate out to one of the 5 gates out to the Ranchos Trails. Heel, heel, heel. Bad dog. Okay. When I was talking to somebody at his shop back door, I had Thor in his car seat, in my car, with the window open about 4 inches. Because I still don't have air conditioning working in my car, and it was starting to get hot. The next thing I know, I didn't see how he did it, but Thor was on the rock driveway from the car. He had jumped out the window to be with me, and then he came running to me. There are the alpacas looking out the fence. They might be the horses there. You remember a couple of shows ago there were 3 horses there that freak when they see the alpacas. They go running. This is nicely weed whacked. Here, okay, I'm watching where I step. This would be a good show for an elderly person who wants to remain active and continue to work with her livestock or his, so that they maybe can do what I'm doing, heal, and not give up on their desire to continue to work with their livestock, even though they're old. Okay, we're standing there at the fence inside my big pasture. There's some high grasses nearby. The goats are staying back there, which I hope they will. I'm watching every step that I take. Heel, heel. Heel. I have to tell you, he's not paying attention, Thor isn't, to my request that he walk with me. He wants to go and do what min pins do when they're on leash on a walk in the grassy area. The goats so far are staying behind us. I'm not going to go any farther than that gate, because clearly it hasn't been mowed out there yet. Ever since COVID, the HOA has not been mowing their ranchos trails, unfortunately. And I've got to get my Kubota back from my 20-acre ranch in order to do it with my flail mower. I'm having to pull him. He'll, with repetition, he'll understand. He's not allowed to pull me like this. Heel. Bad dog. Okay, he's not pulling right now. Tavis is going out the gate. I'm just going to stand there at the gate and try to point the camera left, try to see what's happening out there with the alpacas on the rancho's trails. So don't chain it, just bring it back and I'll stand there with the camera facing towards where you're aiming to go. Heel. Heel. Look at the...
We could leave it open. I'm coming back this way.
Oh, okay, but are you sure? All right, well, we're going to stand here. Hold on to it. Heel. You see, there's a big pasture with a metal fence, and I don't see the 3 horses today. But when they see the alpacas, they get excited and start running. Good boys. You're being good. There's all that horse manure. I had Morgan horses for decades in Santa Cruz, and when I came here too, their manure has to be composted to use for farming. The alpacas' manure, we just shovel it up once a week, put them in a flip bin, and when we're ready to start farming our own carrots in my greenhouse, high tunnel, which I am being awarded by NRCS in a kit form, we'll just use the alpaca manure from the flip bins to fertilize the soil. It doesn't have to be composted. Okay, now you're going to have trouble seeing them as they go deeper down this rancho's trails because the weeds are so high, but I'll let you know if I see any problem. Tavis is going to keep going past my railroad tie fence on the rancho's trails, and you see that barn there? That's another property. Are there any animals in it? Will the alpacas freak out? I don't think so, but the only way to have confidence in my thoughts is to do what we're doing right now, today, on the 5th of August, 2026. Look at these weeds. Even when my Kubota's here with the flail mower, it's not going to be easy to cut them down. They're so thick and so high, which makes the rancho's trails less usable. And you would think it's an HOA responsibility to keep them usable. You know, they're still there. I see them. I see their heads barely above the weeds. And I don't dare walk down this fence line to get to the next gate that I have at the end of this fence line to stand there. But that'll be our next objective once I get the proper equipment and the proper helpers to make me a path along the inside of this fence so I can walk all the way to the 90-degree angle where the fence turns left and goes in front of that house and that property. When I bought this property, I'll just give you some history now while we're waiting. This property was a mess. Things were falling apart, things were rotten. The house was okay, not big, but that's okay, I don't need big. But I loved the location. I loved being a flag lot, which means there's no motor vehicle traffic around my property. I'm legally allowed to come up the horse trail with my vehicle, and so are my guests, my invited guests. And then I did make a concrete driveway on my property. So we turn into my gate and go up the concrete driveway. And we used to have an automatic gate opener there. There were so many problems with it. And the propane delivery people didn't want to have to deal with it. So we just made it a chain gate. And when you go in and out of my property, you have to get out of your vehicle, open the gate, drive in, get out of your vehicle, close the gate. That's the rules here at my rancho's ranch. Yeah, they're not visible at all. But we'll get Tavis's testimonial when he gets back. Oh, he's turning back already. Let's see. Maybe he's giving the alpacas a chance to experience something again that they were freaking at. They're being just fine. Look at their posture. One small step at a time. We're going to get there. We're going to be out here in the pasture, in the rancho's trails, where the weeds have been prior cut, with two wonderful alpacas who don't mind being led and maybe even ridden. They have been ridden in my training areas with lightweight saddles and with their bareback pads. And it's very quiet, but see, this time of year you often hear automatic vehicles, the vehicle sound. So would they be freaked out by it if somebody turned on a tractor or a mower in their backyard? Are you coming back in here? Then I have to get out of your way. And Thor is on the other side of the gate, There, in the high weeds. Here, heel, heel. Is he gonna come? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, and I'm gonna carefully walk backwards.
How you doing?
Okay, but I thought you'd go a little farther. Did you just choose not to?
Yeah, I felt they were just checking stuff out. I let them stay there for a little bit. We stood.
Okay.
They were checking
And they were
things
fine.
out.
Okay.
And
But you know, remember that time that Beta got away from you? You were up another quarter of a mile.
well, no, not that far.
Not that far? Okay.
We were just about right where we were.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
I'm thinking about just getting used to that area.
But he chose to come back here to home. He could have run down this trail and ended up on Table Meadow Road, where there's motor vehicles.
I think they heard your voice too, and
Back then?
back too. So.
Yeah. Now they're happy here. And the goats, I haven't even, yep, the goats are coming into the big pasture. I'm glad you didn't go any farther. I need to have another person here making sure that the goats don't come out on these trails, because I don't want the goats to think of these trails as their home. I don't want them out there just because they're adventuresome. Okay, all right, now Thor again is under the finish line cable, but he's back in, heel. Okay, I'm gonna follow you as best I can on the weed whack ground.
Do you want me to let them go here and I can help you back?
I don't want to be a chicken. No, I'm gonna follow. And if I fall, you'll know it because you'll hear me.
Okay.
The day that I fell when the goats knocked me over, Tavis was home, but he didn't hear me. But luckily, I was able to get up. And Thor, even though I didn't have the leash in my hand, he waited, turned around, and came up to me and said, "Come on, Mom, let's go." With his body language. Okay. Heel, heel. Bad dog. Bad dog. Good boy. Heel. Heel. He knows the word bad dog. And he knows the word N-O. No. Heel. And there are the goats just grazing. And we're luckily walking on weed whack ground that isn't too steep and doesn't seem to have a lot of potholes. But you see, when I'm walking in weeds, I don't see the potholes, and the weeds grab onto my ankles if they're too high. Bad dog. So this, when we upload this session, I'm going to want to include Thor's name in the title, or at least the description, because he's part of this lesson. Just going out on a walk with him is not the same as going out on a filming with the alpacas and the goats nearby. No rush. Enjoying our property, loving our property. We're aiming for going back to that equipment shelter area where we have our tacking area. We decided to make one of those shelters a tacking area, and the alpacas know it. They know that that's where they're to come and allow Tavis to tack them up. Heel, heel, heel. Bad dog. Good, good. No, bad dog. No, heel. So I'm watching him and the ground at the same time. if you're an old person, and I'm old, I'm 82, please don't let anybody make you think you can't be proactive towards what you want to do. There's got to be ways to do it, and to do it safely and with backup if you need it. Constantly having to take weeds out of our risers. I'm investigating now for that portion on the other side of my big pasture fence, for that portion of my property, because that's where I'm going to farm. And I don't want to use high-rise risers like I have here for my pasture fencing, for my pasture ground. I do want to use other forms of irrigation, and I am starting to watch YouTube videos about how to do that. And locally, and luckily, Bad Dog, my Ace hardware store, has a whole aisle devoted to that kind of irrigation devices. Heel. See, it's a little bit bumpy here. I still can see where I'm stepping. The goats are going back. The alpacas are almost back at their attacking area. They're getting an A+. Thor is about to wrap around my legs. So I'm trying to fix that problem by turning around. Okay, heel, heel. By next week, there may be a couple of other people to help with our film.